If teens want to discuss political topics, they shouldn't be shielded from criticism because of their age. I see this all the time and it infuriates me. The latest is Greta Thunberg. I don't have anything against her or any other teen activists. But I hate it when people catch flack for arguing with a child. If you enter yourself in the conversation, then anyone has the right to say what they want about your opinion. Have a good argument. Don't make them being younger be the core of your rebuttal or argument. Have an argument that teaches them something. As long as they criticize with facts, then I don't think anybody cares. The problem is you'll see a lot of people nowadays criticizing folks without any facts, sort of like how people criticize Greta. Many scold her, but very few have attempted to actually disprove her. As a teen, I want to hear criticism to my views so I can tailor them to an older audience. My views probably aren't going to change, but they might. And that, folks, is the beauty of being on the debate team. Saying no, you're wrong because you're under 25 isn't a valid rebuttal. It just goes to show that you can't defend your stance against someone younger than you, so you have to focus on their age rather than what they stand for. If people can provide facts to prove their points or disapprove the kid/teen, I agree. But calling her names and making fun of her just cause one doesn't share the kid's opinion should be something they should be shielded from. Same goes for adults though. It's not really a discussion. Pretty sure arguing with a teenager about a topic isn't unpopular. It's definitely more about using "I'm an adult and I know better than you" in lieu of an actual argument. Oh, and the violent threats and sexualization. The primary issue is people attacking her personally rather than her message. Just because you don't agree with her argument doesn't mean you should attack her personally. I'm not sure if you're ignorant of the overall situation or just a really bad excuse troll. If you attack a child for her appearance or for having Asperger's, rather than rationally engaging in a fact-based debate, you're a total sack of garbage. That's the issue. I'm a middle school teacher. I started a global issues elective. Hotshot, annoying as hell kid always argues for the Trump-leaning position, which is cool, whatever. Except every time I would use a source, he legitimately considered it fake news. I asked him what source he felt he could trust. He said Fox News. I said fine, what's one other source you feel you can trust, out of the dozens available? He said it pretty much ended there with Fox. I asked if it seemed dangerous to only trust one source for news. Not if it's telling the truth, he said. Criticism of opinions and thoughts? Definitely. Criticism of age and unrelated circumstances? Fuck no. Yes and no. It's fine to debate their ideas, but calling a 16-year-old a stupid bitch probably isn't a good look. I don't think anyone is really seeking to shield Greta from criticism in terms of discussions of ideas. As far as I see it, the issue is predominantly one of abuse, name-calling, disparaging comments about her looks or mental state, and unevidenced conspiracy theories in lieu of legitimate discussion of the issues. The problem isn't adults arguing with Greta but downright attacking her. Climate change isn't a political topic or a matter of opinion, it's a fact that has been warped, by some, for political purposes. I still haven't got into politics because of this. People don't want to inform others of political views. If I ask you why is your view better than mine, or what points can you bring up better? I want to know. But if you just brush it off or refuse to explain, I guess your views just aren't all that great. No one's saying don't criticize younger people's political views. However, anytime I've seen criticism of her, it's wildly personal. She is the one acting like the grown-up in many of these situations, and it's ridiculous. Have a conversation, don't poorly attempt to insult the youth. No wonder they hate older generations. Haven't actually noticed Greta Thunberg being shielded at all, although there are lots of people who take her side. That's different than shielding her. Same with that kid who organized the school strikes after that shooting. These kids are pelted with all kinds of shit and hate from adults. I think it's disgusting, particularly given what they're fighting for, but they aren't being shielded. Been fucked in the ass in many a debate growing up. The shame I felt being refuted with the facts definitely made me annoyed enough with myself to have the facts next time. A lot of high-profile people did not really criticize Greta, it was straight up bullying Imo. People aren't catching flack for arguing with a child. Idiots who don't understand climate science are being called out for verbally assaulting a teen. It's just odd when a 73-year-old, who's also the president, tries to bully a 16-year-old. Like it doesn't sound real but somehow it is. Bullshit, you definitely deserve flack if you can't come up with a single constructive argument against a child. Nobody's catching flack for criticizing her, they're catching flack for straight up attacking her, making fun of her, name-calling, etc. As always, attack the ideas, not the person. Agreed. I'm liberal and like Greta, but it's just the reality of putting yourself on the public stage. I think she knows that on some level and is pretty good with rolling with the punches, so people falling over themselves to think of the children is a bit cringy. People shouldn't be hurling personal insults and threats of violence at her, but also I don't think Trump telling her to chill out is child bullying or the crime of the century either. 2 points. So you're fine that she has no other recourse but to plead with world leaders, because her age keeps her from being able to vote the fuckers out of office. Seems like you're okay with picking on someone who literally cannot fight back. You're also okay with someone attacking not her policy stances, but literally her. Your position is literally what is wrong with our culture. Chastise policy positions all you want, don't talk badly about people themselves who are only equally trying to make the world a better place, even if from the exact opposite point of view. They also shouldn't attack her because of her age. The problem with Trump and his supporters are they never intended for the debate to be about the issues because they don't know or care about the issues. They attack Thunberg because she's a kid, or because she looks funny, or because she's a foreigner. None of that refutes her argument that climate change is real and should be seen as a threat. Greta Thunberg should never be attacked on her age. Rather, she should be debated on the topic of climate change. How many people are doing that? Everyone agrees that it's okay to discuss politics with a child. It's not okay to bully them, which is what anyone who tries to talk politics with Greta does. If they actually sit down and discuss facts, then that's perfectly okay, but if you want to act like POTUS and cry and whine at some 16-year-old, then go away unless you have the facts to disprove her. I've never seen a single person complain about Greta being criticized using factual information, because there are zero factually correct criticisms of her platform. Every criticism of her has been personal attacks and nothing more, which is unacceptable towards anybody of any age. There's criticism, and then there's straight up bullying. If you want to criticize, then argue the science, don't just make fun of the person when you yourself have nothing to add to the discussion, like Trump. I generally agree, but if this is about Trump attacking her, that is totally different. For one, anyone flaming and inciting harassment against anyone else, regardless of age or views, is unproductive and only detracts from the conversation and deepens divides. But the real issue there is that the President of the United States should not be attacking anyone on Twitter, regardless of their views, and especially not a child. The President of a sovereign nation, let alone the nation with the most powerful armed forces on earth, harassing private individuals from that position of power is never acceptable. In some cases it can make people targets for violence. Attacking Thunberg isn't necessarily worse, so much as it's the natural endpoint of what was already abhorrent behavior. Trump was not politely expressing an opinion when he insulted Greta after her win as Person of the Year. His comments had nothing to do with the subject she fights for. He's a pig. So proud of her response. What a class act. Fuck off. Making any comment about Greta, whatever her fucking name is just virtue signaling. And the virtue you're signaling is I'd rather have about 50,000 insanely rich dudes get marginally richer than leave a habitable planet for the future of humanity. Go be a piece of shit somewhere else. While I agree with you, that's not what is going on with the Greta girl at all. There's a difference between criticism and bullying. Downvote me if you want. Also, teens discussing politics shouldn't be judged based on age. Doesn't Greta get shit on 99% because of her age? Like, there's never any other argument than she's just 16. It's simple, they're using Greta Thunberg as a political pawn, so anyone who speaks out against what she says and tries to spark some debate, they will be instantly seen as the asshole and shut out for speaking like that to a child. It's a tactic to shut down dissenting opinions, and she should not be used like this. The age point is for all topics. If anyone want to discuss/argue on any topic, they shouldn't be called out or not considered because of their age. Nowadays online, whenever I am in argument the next person is losing, they will just call out my age and leave the argument. It's good to criticize in political discussion, regardless of age. Photoshopping Greta's face on The Exorcist, spreading rumors that she's mentally disabled, referring to Get as that ugly bitch, and attacking her personal character is a dickbag thing to do. Being a teenager is hard enough. Having adults across the globe hurl personal insults at you is beyond fucked up. Edit, I'm shocked how many people are trying to justify adults mocking a teen and baking personal that's. It's literally the exact same thing as bullying kids on the playground, but the worst is being done by grown men and women. If you can't figure out why that's incredibly immature and wrong, just give me a downvote, go fuck yourself and move on.